All right, guys, welcome back to another deck profile from Draw Scoop Gaming. Today we're bringing you my Super Quant deck. Big fan of Power Rangers, and I've literally had a version of this deck since the archetype came out, / I was made aware of it. This one, it's only gotten better because of the constant unlimiting of E-Tellies. But the deck's pretty straightforward. You play triple Alphin, triple green, triple white, triple red, and triple blue. So the game plan is to get them all on board as fast as possible, and one card exceeds them in. Alphin tributes himself to let you choose 3 of these from your deck. Your opponent will randomly pick 1 to put on the field. The other 2 go to the grave. If you don't know, all of them have a 2 grave effect and summon effect that always trigger. His summon is you get to summon another super quant, and his grave is you pitch a super quant card to draw a card. His is on summon you can pitch a super quant from deck, and his attribute and level become that one's. And when he goes to the grave, you get to add Alphin back, so he's your starter. Blue layer, when she's summoned, you search a super quant card, and when she goes to the graveyard, you shuffle 3 back. And red layer, when he's summoned, and he's can be normal, he can be special summoned. I'm sorry, if your opponent or if you control no monsters, so he's like a better cyber dragon. We've played a lot in Monarchs, but when he's summoned, you get to add a super quant card from your deck or from your graveyard to your hand, and when he is sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon a super quant from your graveyard except for him, and it's Vex negated. So they all kind of float into each other. It's kind of nice. They're all 1 card exceeds too. I'll get into that. But that's the main core. And for other monsters, we're just playing hand traps. Triple Veiler, 2 Ash. With how popular brand it is right now, Veiler's a little bit better than Ash because you can stop Albion from making Dragoon. You can just stop all those on-play effects, stop Aluber, stop Fallen. And I'd rather play those stop threats than play triple of those. Depending on how the meta shifts, this will change. We've got Terraforming because, like I said in one of our previous videos, every deck has a field spell. These are 1 card exceeds, you pitch a card to target a super quant you control and exceed summon onto it with the same attribute. So you basically put the Rangers in their swords. And then when you have all 3 on your field or in your graveyard, you send this from your field to your graveyard to exceed summon the big guy. This deck can pretty consistently do that on turn 1. Triple emergency teleport starts into blue, really good. So glad it's at 3. I played this deck when this was at 1, and that was sucky, and I'm much happier that it's at 3. 1 for 1 gets you into Alphin, which will start you. Pyresis map is a new one. It also gets you into Alphin because Alphin has 0 attack. You have your life points, but getting started is worth it. I mean, a hero lives as a card for a reason, right? Foolish Burial to trigger any super quant effect that I need to trigger. Normally you send red to get a monster reborn off this, or send blue when you need resources. Reasoning, because every card in this deck is a different level. White is 7, red is 5, green is 4, blue is 3, Alphin is 1. Veiler is also 1, so there's a high cost of 1s, and then Ash is 2. So get to summon a card pretty regularly, which is pretty nice. We've got a monster reborn just as an extender piece. 1 super quantal Alphin Call appeal. It allows you to just kind of replace your super quants. When one of them is destroyed, you get to special summon another and then immediately exceeds with it, which can set you up into making the big guy if you need to. Called by because called by. Upstart because I'd rather play a 39 card deck than a 40 card deck, and then 1,000 life points doesn't really matter. For traps, we're all just on the hate. Triple Solemn Strike, double impermanence, just to shut your opponent down. Try to lock him out as fast as possible. Once you get to your big guy, you're kind of good. Your only problem is Kaijus, which don't see much play in our meta. I haven't seen many sideboarded. It might change, but I haven't come up. For the extra deck, we played 2 red, 2 green, 2 blue, 2 white. These are the Zords for the Rangers. He pops a monster by detaching 1. He Book of Moons a card by detaching 1. Destroys a spell or trap by detaching 1. Negates a monster effect. They're all quick effects if they have their ranger attached. They're not if they have somebody else's only. And you can put more rangers underneath of them, which is just really good for getting more material on there, because you want as much material as possible for the big guy. Super Quantum Mech King Great Magnus is the most bossy of boss monsters that I've ever seen. He gets an effect based on the number of material he has. If you have 6 or more material with different name under him, he is your opponent can't add cards from their deck to their hand except by drawing, so we shut down a lot of fun stuff. When he has 4 or more, he is unaffected by cards that aren't super quant cards, so you can't board wipe him or remove him or anything. He's also 3600, so he's hard to beat over. And then if he has 2 or more, as a quick effect during the main phase, I can, non-targeting, shuffle 1 card my opponent controls back. So if you do manage to make something bigger than him, you just don't get to swing over him because he's gonna put a shuffle it back. So we also play 1 Mech King Blaster Magna. He doesn't really come up much. I just put him in here because he is a super quant card, and the spaces are really just for these things. You don't really need to play anything else. I've made him like twice. He's kind of a card advantage if you make super quant cards and he points to them. This was a very necessary card during Link format when Master Wolf 4 hadn't changed. We have 1 Zeus because we're an Xyz heavy deck. We can swing over something and then drop a Zeus, and if you have Zeus and the other guy on board, when you send everything, he stays.
Would you play 2 if you had to?
I could take out this and play 2.
Yeah.
It hasn't really come up because I usually win by then,
Yeah.
but I do have 2 that I could try. Just haven't gotten there yet. I would probably take out Drill Driver Vespinato. This is for Xyz climbing into Gaia, into Zeus, just if you want to put a billion material under this thing, which you can already do with your Rangers, but this could be a Zeus and I wouldn't feel any worse about it. The last thing we have in here is the alternate Megazord. Infinite Track Fortress Megaclops. He takes 3 Xyz monsters, which is the same thing as Magnus, and he's unaffected by other monster effects except Xyz monsters. Can't be destroyed by battle except with an Xyz monster. So it's just another alternate, like, really good card that you could go into if you weren't going into the big guy, or if they had banished it from your extra deck and you still had this thing. What's kind of always in here is just as a backup. I think I've maybe made him once. Never come up though. I do love playing this deck. It's very campy, and the super pure build of this is a episode of Power Rangers, which I do enjoy, and you'll see another Power Ranger themed deck profile coming up near in the future. But that's it for now. Until next time, guys, take it easy.